So, are you all happy? And I hope you got all your results too, right? Some of the results for some of your subjects may be out, and some might be very happy, some might be really depressed. What I will advise you is stay motivated. What you have to do is you have to learn from your mistakes, continuously improve yourself. Yesterday, I was talking to one of my proctor students. He has actually graduated, and he is from the 13 PCE batch, but it took a long time for him to graduate. And he just met me yesterday for some letter of recommendation. He was such a good student, and I used to call him since he was my proctor student. I used to call him to check his performance, but he never used to lift my calls. He never used to meet me, and he was very busy in some of the activities inside VIT other than the academics, maybe some clubs or something like that. And he never used to attend his classes too. So as a result, what happened? He totally lost his focus. He was totally into some other activities. He was such a good student, and thereby his time for graduation extended by 2 years. And he came and met me yesterday, and he told me these words: "Sir, I have realized my mistakes now. But what I would like to tell you is, it's good enough that you realize your mistakes sooner, and you start correcting yourself. You continuously improve yourself. That's the only way you have to overcome your failures." So you might be thinking whether your professor turned a philosopher. Why is he really advising? I don't spend time advising my students, but our subject is all about continuous process improvements towards successful project delivery. So it's all about learning from mistakes. When you talk about software engineering, it's all about learning from your mistakes and improving yourself and improving the process. So we'll start this subject on software engineering. So I'll start this with this particular slide, software engineering. I have the soldier and I say it's a war scenario. I compare delivering projects to be something like being in a war. And what is software engineering? In very short, you can go over and discover the meaning of software engineering through the various lectures available on YouTube and various places. Lot of theoretical concepts written, lot of big paragraphs. People seriously speaking about software engineering. But we'll take software engineering on the lighter side. We'll take a lot of practical examples. We learn things from real world scenarios. We'll take things on the lighter side. I'll not be more into the theoretical concepts in the books rather than giving you lighter examples, and we'll try to understand that. So what is software engineering? To be very short, it's about successfully delivering a project. Any project you take, how successful you are in it. And I have said that it's like a war. Because for me, successfully delivering a project is like winning a war. Because in a war, you will face so many unforeseen circumstances. You might have the training to kill people, but then it's totally unforeseen, unexpected challenges you will face. And somehow you have to use your skills that you have attained through your training. You have to take smart decisions and see to that you win the war. Of course, when you are in a war, you will not be without any wounds, right? You will definitely get some problems. You have to face that. Somehow you have to continue. Only then you have the chance of winning a war. So when I talk about delivering a project, a real professional project is like being in an actual war. Only thing is, in a war, at the end of the war, you may be alive or dead. At the end of the project, you may have the job or you may not have the job. It depends on how successful you were during that time. So when you talk about delivering a project, it's no more a one-man show. It's like I'm a 9-pointer, I'm a S grader, I know everything on this earth, and I will deliver everything. When you go and join an industry, the scenario changes, as I told you. It's not you just delivering a $1 million project by taking it on your shoulders and making all your 6-pointers rest. It is teamwork. No matter how good, how skilled you are, if you cannot adjust, if you cannot accommodate, If you cannot adapt to others, you cannot deliver a successful project. So that's why we are going to form team members with a team size of 10 and team members with varied levels of experience and motivation will be part of your team. You will see the challenges in delivering the project when you have such varied levels of expertise and different team members. So what is the key to success in a war or in a project? It's teamwork. Okay. So let's take a scenario. We'll understand software engineering by taking up a scenario. What the scenario is, let's say you have a team of engineers. You all have graduated. Let's assume you have graduated. You are a fresh team of engineers. You want some work, and then you have joined an IT firm and you are waiting for some work. And then say some bank is very interested in your firm, and it comes to you with a project. When I say a project, it's about maybe automating a certain system for them or developing certain software for them and handing it over to them. So when you talk about a project, say I have taken a scenario here, we have discussed about loan management system to a certain extent in our last class. So we'll take up the same system. So what our bank needs is a loan collection management system. So that is the project. Bank comes to you for a project. The project name, the title is Loan Collection Management System for a bank with 2 million customers. So again, let me repeat, when we are talking about software engineering, we are talking about large projects that involves multiple teams, and it's really huge. It's not just a small startup or just a small web site that you create with 2 or 3 members. It's definitely a large project. You can assume at least 50 to 100 members working in your project at different locations. So only then these kinds of concepts and principles even apply. So we are taking such a scenario here. A bank with at least 2 million customers is giving loans and it wants a loan collection management system. And obviously it comes with a deadline. I want this project to be delivered by May 2020. So the team, maybe the CEO for the bank says, please deliver it by May 2020. And they also have a budget. So the bank has a budget of $200,000. So that's what they give you initially. And then say your firm somehow acquired that project from that particular bank and they have got these initial details. So now you've got some work. You're all now engineers with some work. So what next? What do you think will be the challenges faced by this team of engineers to deliver this project? Asked you some questions, so you have to now answer me. What do you think will be the challenges faced by this team of engineers who will be working? Say you have been assigned to this project. Okay, you deliver this for them. So what all they should be really worried about? Obviously, we can think about an on-site offshore scenario too, wherein we are working for some clients. Say we are working for a Bank of America or a bank called USAA, which is in the US. And our team of engineers somehow should deliver this project to our clients. So, what do you think are the challenges? Deadline, yes. Cost distribution, task distribution, very good. Any other designing? Okay, lack of coordination. Yes, budget formation. So you guys know most of the things, I guess. Can you think on some more topics? Can you write that in a sheet of paper? Can you take some 2 3 minutes? Can you write down all the points that you think will be the challenges faced by this team? See, most of the things I am sharing with you, maybe not in some of the books or online. I'm also sharing with you my experience I faced or I had while I was delivering a project at a large scale. So we'll start with the challenges one by one. I'm not taking it from any textbook. I've just written it by taking some time. So let's go with the challenges. This is what is the question. What, according to you, are the challenges, questions facing this team towards delivering this project? The very first challenge is, do we really have the expertise to carry out the project? See, a client can come and ask you to deliver any project. Do you have the domain expertise? What do you mean by domain expertise? Do you have people who can understand what's happening inside the loan management system inside a bank? Only when you have people with the domain expertise, only when you understand what is a loan management system, you can deliver a software for them. So, do you have people with the domain knowledge of what's happening inside a bank? Only they can go and talk to your bank managers. You can't send someone without domain expertise. Say, if I ask someone from here, from this class, go and have a business meeting with a bank manager in the bank about a loan management system, you can't go and ask him what is the loan, what is the collection management system, what you are doing. He is not the person to teach you, he is not your teacher. If you send a person who has already some insight about loan management system, you'll act as a consultant. You look into the problem aspects faced by the bank manager, and then you will be able to gather the issues immediately. Thereby, there will be a reduction of time. You go to the Indian bank here, you see how busy the people there are. They'll not even raise their heads and look at you. You have to wait for so much time to even get your checks cleared. When you go and ask them, give me 2 hours time and detail me what is loan management system every day, they are going to say no. So the very first question we have to ask is, do we have the expertise? Expertise in the sense, first is domain expertise. The next kind of expertise we can think about is technical expertise. Say you are developing a project using Java, or it may be an embedded system, it can be an IoT based system, it can be a system using machine learning to detect fraudulent transactions. So, do you have the technical expertise first of all? Is your team really trained for this project? Next question that you have to ask is the project feasible with the existing technologies? Can I really achieve this? A client can come and give you $400,000 and say, send a spacecraft to Jupiter. Expectations can be so awkward. Can you really achieve whatever the client is saying with the existing technologies? Just because he is paying a lot of money, you can't say, I will deliver everything. So the first question we have to ask is the project really feasible? Can we really achieve this project? The next question is, the given timeline sufficient for the project? He is saying May 2020. He has just given me a title, loan management system for the bank. I'm not even sure whether the deadline is sufficient or not. How to say I will deliver it by May 2020? See the problems here. If I say I can't deliver it by May 2020, some other IT firm may grab this project and the $200,000. I may lose the project. If I say I will deliver it by May 2020 and I'm not delivering it, then I have to face a lawsuit, I have to pay the penalty. So when you're committing something like I will deliver, it's a very serious thing. So timeline, the challenge is, this is one of the major challenges the industry is faced to. Is the timeline really sufficient for the project? The next important question that came to my mind is the given budget sufficient? He says $200,000, maybe it sounds a very big amount. Say you have to pay 100 engineers for another 2 years, and you have to pay for all the infrastructure and things like that. So is your budget really going to be sufficient? That's a really big challenge, right? With just the title, you have to define whether the budget is sufficient or not. You have to go in for the offer. The third important challenge, how many people I need for this project? Do I need 10, 50, 100 or 5? It's again a very important question that you have to answer. If you just recruit 5 and you start doing your project, maybe during the mid term of your project, you'll understand that the resources are not sufficient, you will not meet the deadline, and then you will go in for recruitment, again advertising, HR process. So that will put a lag on your project, right? That is another thing. Another major problem here is, if I recruit 100 people in advance so that I don't face any issues, 50 people will be sitting on the bench. That's what we say in the IT. They are on the bench, they don't have any projects, they're just waiting, and we have to pay salaries to them. So again, that is another important issue. How many people will be working on this project without any I should not have some excess, or I should not have some minimum deficiency there. This is a very important question that you have to answer. Is it possible for our engineers to access the client's workplace? Say if it's a project happening in Indian bank, you can very well walk to the Indian bank, talk to the manager by somehow getting a meeting for 15 minutes. If it's going to be a project happening in USW or Bank of America in US, you have to send your engineers to that location to understand the business and then come out with the requirements. You think of a client whom you cannot see what business he is doing. By just sitting here, you cannot develop a system for him. So this is one major issue that most of the industries, at least in India, they are facing right now. Sending people by getting them visas to some place outside to understand the client system. So you have to be very concerned about this too. This one was really pointed out by one of our friends. How to distribute the work among the team. So I have this challenge too. I have 100 members in my team. I should see to that every member contributes something to the project. There should be no single idle member. If I find an idle member, I am just losing my budget there. So I should tighten it up, remove that person so that I can increase my profit. Right? If I say something from $200,000, I am really making profit. So where all I can trim my team, where all I should, see to that, I should see to that I distribute work properly among my team members. There should not, it should not be a scenario wherein 5 people work in the team, 5 people happily enjoy seeing others working. That will never be the case. Another question: how to monitor if the team is working? Today I say loan management system. You develop that, then I am the manager. Say I am the boss here now. I go for vacation. After 3 months, I come and ask you, where is the loan management system? So obviously, you all guys will come, have tea, lunch, and then you'll leave. Every day you'll be repeating the same. There'll be no progress. So we should have a process. We should have some checks to see that everybody is working on something every day, every hour. So when you talk about workplace statistics, how they measure work is you should deliver 40 hours of work per week. 40 hours of work per week, and for every hour they are going to pay you. So it's 40 into so many dollars. So for a month you have to deliver 160 hours of work. 160 hours of work. And how is your salary? How is that your client is going to pay to your engineers? 160 into so many dollars. So it's for every hour your client is paying some amount of dollars. It can be $200 or $50 or $25, depending on your experience. So every hour of work delivered by an engineer matters in an organization. How to handle risks? Nobody told me about this. What do you mean by risks? You had a team size of 10, 5 members got a very good offer from the company opposite to your company. They got a better salary package, so they resigned their jobs. Through the project, it can happen, right? Somebody running out of the project. Maybe they had a fight with you, and 5 members are going to leave. You cannot stop them. You cannot say no to them. It's not legal, right? So how is that you're going to face that? Maybe a tsunami came and took your entire block out. You had two teams, one in the US and one in India. Maybe a tsunami took your block out, but still the project should continue. Maybe a disease or an epidemic came and affected almost 10 engineers. You always get this dengue and so many different diseases. Right? So how is that you're going to handle all these risks? Because when you commit to your client that you will deliver the project by May 2020, when you sign that agreement, you're going to deliver that. you're going to keep up your promise. The another very important challenge is what is that the user really wants, what he wants to be automated. In the last class, I was telling you, loan itself is of different types. You have secured loan, you have unsecured loans. And when you talk about unsecured loan, it can be a credit card loan. When you talk about secured loans, it can be property loan, jewel loan, and it can be auto loan. Is the user, by saying loan management system, trying to automate everything in every domain or every department in under loans, or is he focusing only on auto loans? So I should understand more. Whatever the topic he has given me is not enough. This you'll not think about this as a student. What system you are going to develop? Only a loan collection management system for the bank. As a bank, it already has a banking system, right? You have account holders, you have all these things as part of the bank. And you also have a loan management system wherein you apply for loans, loans get accepted, rejected. So all these systems are already in place, and you're going to develop another system called the loan collection management system. So a loan collection management system should integrate with the existing systems of the bank. Very, very important. Sometimes there may be an older system running. If you're talking about a loan collection management system, there can be another older system running for loan collection management. Maybe you're developing a new system in a new technology and replacing that existing system. So how your system is going to integrate with the existing systems? You have to, this is a very, very big challenge, I'll say. Another important thing that we didn't address, how to integrate work delivered by different teams. Say here, we have how many teams in our class? 5 teams. And each individual will be working, say, on a piece of code. Say you're writing a function, you're writing a function, you're writing a function. So say we have 60 students, we have 60 different classes and functions being written. But all these things come under one single system. So when all these 60 students finish their work, what we have to do is we have to integrate, merge all this work as one system and deliver it. Sometimes there will be 60 students here, 60 students in the US. They'll be working on some part of the system, you'll be working on some part of the system. But finally, you have to integrate and test it as one big system and deliver. So how will you integrate work delivered by different teams? Another very big challenge, how to verify whatever system we have developed is free of any issues or errors. How can you certify that, okay, here is the system that will work without any errors? You have to certify that before you put that in the market, right? Very important. Most of the students, they bring their projects to the faculty without doing this. I developed a banking system. I'll come to the faculty, show the demo. When I enter age to be minus 40, it very well accepts. When I enter when I withdraw 5,000 rupees while the balance is 1,000 rupees, it very well accepts. When I say the birth date is a future date, your software very well accepts that. So how can you certify all that you're doing as part of a project is free from errors? As academicians and students and faculty, we are not worried about this, but this is a serious thing in the industry. Once when they know that your software has some issues or errors, they will not come and invest on your product. Please understand. Another challenge, I deliver a very large software, right? A loan collection management system. Who will maintain this? Should I maintain this with $200,000? Can I maintain this software for the next 50 years? Say we top somebody designed, developed, and delivered our university management system. But now VTOP should be maintained. Some student gets some issues, maybe for him something is not working. You immediately go to the software development cell, you have an email ID, you contact them through phone, your issue should be fixed. Maybe the software should be revised or your data should be corrected. So who will do all these things for you? Is it the development team? I'm an engineer who has developed this. Should I sit here on the maintenance work for the next 30 years and support your system? That should also be an important. Apart from this, language barrier, a very important thing that we never focus on. See, you have a client who is from the US or UK and you are in India. Yeah, of course, we all speak English and they speak English in a different way. What we speak, maybe sometimes they don't understand, and what they speak, we don't understand because our accents are totally different. And we have to carry out the project entirely by an audio conference call. You'll have a team listening to someone who is speaking from the other side of the globe, or through a video conference wherein you'll have this team and you'll have another team sitting opposite, and both of them should interact. Some of the bank manager should say his problems, and you have to understand that, and your entire team here should understand that. So this is another very important thing which most of the books don't address, language barriers. As I was in a team which had these issues, I'm just bringing it out. What other barriers you'd see? Distance barrier. I told you. When it is daytime for them, it's nighttime for you. When it's nighttime for you, it's daytime for them. So when the team has to meet, either you have to stay late or they have to stay late. The meeting will happen at 12 o'clock in the night. And you should have your entire team up, motivated to be there to deliver and work on your project. Sometimes the meeting will happen at morning 5, 4, but still we have to collaborate and work. That is another barrier. The third barrier is cultural barrier. It's a thing that most of the books don't discuss. See, when you go on site, when you work on a project, the work starts, mostly from my experience, I'm telling you, the people at on site, your clients start working by 6 a.m. in the morning. They come to the office at 6 a.m. Do you believe that? And they start working by 6 a.m. in that freezing cold weather. All of them are inside the office by 6 a.m. and they start working. But we are used to the 9 a.m. culture and we used to go to the office only by 9:30. So we are already losing 4 hours of our client's time, 3 to 4 hours of our client's time. And the people out there will have their lunch just directly having it on their desk, maybe 15 minutes of lunch, and they'll continuously start working. But we used to take 1.5 hours of lunch time, go happily have lunch, come back after that. But then the problem is by 4 p.m. they will leave, and we'll be sitting there till 10 p.m. but we'll not be able to interact with the clients. So cultural barrier is another thing. Plus availability of the system, performance of the system, security of the system, how efficient is your system, what is the response time for your system, plus more unforeseen challenges reside behind development of a project. I have just listed some few challenges here. So by this time, most of you would be like this. Should I even work on a project? Will I be successful working on a project? For this, we'll see the answer in the next class.